Joshua 21. Towns for priests and Levites. The family rulers of the Levite tribe went to talk to Eleazar the priest, to Joshua son of Nun, and to the rulers of the other tribes of Israel. At Shiloh in the land of Canaan, the Levite rulers said to them, "The Lord gave Moses a command. He commanded that you give us towns to live in, and that you give us fields where our animals can eat." So the Israelites obeyed this command from the Lord, and gave the Levites these towns and the land around them for their animals. The Kohath family groups were descendants of Aaron, the priest from the tribe of Levi. Part of the Kohath family was given 13 towns in the areas that belonged to Judah, Simeon, and Benjamin. The other Kohath families were given 10 towns in the areas that belonged to Ephraim, Dan, and half of Manasseh. The people from the Gershon family were given 13 towns. These towns were in the areas that belonged to Issachar, Asher, Naphtali, and half of Manasseh that was in Bashan. The people from the Merari family were given 12 towns. These towns came from the areas that belonged to Reuben, Gad, and Zebulun. So the Israelites gave the Levites these towns and the fields around them, just as the Lord had told Moses. These are the names of the towns that were in the areas that belonged to Judah and Simeon. The first choice of towns was given to the Levites from the Kohath family group. They gave them Kiriath Arba. This is Hebron. It was named for a man named Arba. Arba was the father of Anak. They also gave them some land near the town for their animals. But the fields and small towns around the city of Kiriath Arba belonged to Caleb, son of Jephunneh. So they gave the city of Hebron to Aaron's descendants. Hebron was the city of safety. They also gave Aaron's descendants the towns of Libnah, Jatir, Eshtemoa, Holon, Debir, Ain, Judah, and Beth Shemesh. They also give them some of the land near these towns for their animals. These two tribes gave them 9 towns. They also gave Aaron's descendants cities that belonged to the tribe of Benjamin. These cities were Gibeon, Geba, Ananoth, and Almon. They gave them these 4 towns and some of the land near the towns for their animals. In all, they gave 13 towns to the priests. All priests were descendants of Aaron. They also give them some land near each town for their animals. The other people from the Kohathite family groups were given towns that were in the areas that belonged to the tribe of Ephraim. They got these towns: the city of Shechem from the hill country of Ephraim, which was the city of safety, Gezer, Kibzaim, and Beth Horon. In all, Ephraim gave them 4 towns and some land around each town for their animals. The tribe of Dan gave them Eltekeh, Gibbethon, Aijalon, and Gathrimmon. In all, Dan gave them 4 towns and some land around each town for their animals. Half the tribe of Manasseh gave them Taanach and Gathrimmon. In all, this half of Manasseh gave them 2 towns and some land around each town for their animals. In all, the rest of the family from the Kohath family group got 10 towns and some land around each town for their animals. The Gershon family groups were also from the tribe of Levi. They got these towns. Half the tribe of Manasseh gave them Golan and Bashan. Golan was a city of safety. Manasseh also gave them Beth Eshtara. In all, this half of Manasseh gave them 2 towns and some land around each town for their animals. The tribe of Issachar gave them Kishion, Daberoth, Jarmuth, and En-Ganim. In all, Issachar gave them 4 towns and some land around each for their animals. The tribe of Asher gave them Mishal, Abdon, Helkath, and Rehob. In all, Asher gave them 4 towns and some land around each for their animals. The tribe of Naphtali gave them Kadesh in Galilee. Kadesh was a city of safety. Naphtali also gave them Hamath Dor and Kartan. In all, Naphtali gave them 3 towns and some land around each for their animals. In all, the Gershon family groups got 13 towns and some land around each for their animals. The other Levite group was the Merari family group. They were given these towns. The tribe of Zebulun gave them Jokneam, Karta, Dimnah, and Nahalal. In all, Zebulun gave them 4 towns and some land around each town for their animals. The tribe of Reuben gave them Bezer, Jahaz, Kedemoth, and Mephath. In all, Reuben gave them 4 towns and some land around each town for their animals. The tribe of Gad gave them Ramoth in Gilead. Ramoth was a city of safety. They also gave them Mahanaim, Heshbon, and Jazer. In all, Gad gave them 4 towns and some land around each for their animals. In all, the last family of Levites, the Merari family, got 12 towns. So the Levites were given a total of 48 towns and some land around each town for their animals. All these towns were in areas that belonged to the other tribes. Each of these towns had some land in it for their animals. That was true for every town. So the Lord kept the promise that he had made to the Israelites and gave the people all the land that he had promised. The people took the land and lived there. And the Lord allowed them to have peace on all sides of their land, just as he had promised their ancestors. None of their enemies defeated them. The Lord allowed the Israelites to defeat every enemy. The Lord kept every promise that he had made to the Israelites. There were no promises that he failed to keep. Every promise came true.